What's up, guys? This is a new series kind of thing that I'm trying to develop, and it's called the Rakz, and it's pretty much just me on front of the camera trying to talk about my career, my racing stuff, other things in life, and just talk about the past, and yeah, the things that I find pretty memorable or pretty useful in terms of my life, and hopefully, I'll be able to inspire you guys or help you guys through any problems, and probably through my experiences, probably kind of allow you to discover new things and do stuff, but also to entertain you. But yeah, I guess it's one thing I'm trying to like develop. So this is the first episode. So let's just get into it. So it all started in around 2005. Okay, this is just like kind of background information about it. But like 2005, 2006, and that's where I watched my first races. I was supporting Fernando Alonso at that time, I remember. And me and my dad, and as well as my mom, would always compete against each other because they're always a Michael Schumacher fan, and I'm always like a Alonso fan. And every time they compete, I always go like, "Yeah, let's go!" And trying to like hype them up and all. And I guess that's how I kind of got my interest in racing, and yeah, that's how it all began. Like that 2005, 2006 moments where I was just watching Formula One with my family. Nothing happened afterwards. I only just liked it because never really got into my mind as a kid. I've always been quite active. I've always been like playing around and all. So I think there's just too many things going on in myself that I wasn't really like kind of trying to pursue it, but I was definitely interested into it. So in 2009, my mom organized a kart event in Sepang, which is apparently one of my most successful track. And I went there and I was quite interested into it, but then again, I was playing a lot of football as well, and things are going on, so it wasn't really like kind of captured my mind. But I knew that I liked it. I was really interested into it, but like that push myself to do that thing, to start karting, wasn't really there because I had a lot of things in my mind, and just in my mind I was just like, yeah, I want to have fun and just play. So not really into it, but yeah, that was definitely a window of opportunity in 2009 that I could have started racing. Kind of regretted it, but then again, like, to be honest, I think I made all the right decisions that led me up to who I am right now, and I don't really regret it. You know what, I just take it. It's happened. Nothing much I can do. But fast forward again till 2013. I'm still watching Formula One races, and in the end of 2013, I was like thinking like, yeah, maybe we should start something because I'm more mature, and I was able to speak up for myself even more, and I was just thinking like, you know what, let's try something. So I went to a lot of rental karts and all, and for just about a year I've been just racing rental karts, and it was a lot of fun. I hope there's a picture. Maybe there's a picture somewhere here, but because I'm asking my mom to give me some pictures from my early racing days in a way, but if there's a picture, it should be around here. But yeah, I was just pretty much doing rental cars, and I don't know, I was just trying to kind of replicate what I think was driving like racing. And I remember I bought my first like helmet. It was a motorcycle helmet. It's orange, and it only costed me like 20 euros or some shit. But yeah, I thought that was pro. Honestly, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. And yeah, I had a GoPro set up and all. Like, yeah, I thought I was like the cool guy and the destined racing driver and all, because I was actually participating in a race. And then one of the guys was like, yeah, you should try to go up to the big leagues in the big tracks, you know, proper karting. And I was like, yeah, maybe I could do that. And yeah, pretty much for 1 year I was just trying to get the feeling and all, and I was also playing a lot of Formula 1 and Flash racing games, and I thought I had the skill to do it. And yeah, I guess because of the games as well, and the simulators and stuff like that, it kind of allowed me to get a grip of what racing line is and all. So when I jumped into the real thing later on in 2015, I didn't have that much of a trouble. But yeah, and then in 2015, I think me and my parents decided, you know what, let's take it properly seriously. So my mom still had contacts with one of the team owners in Indonesia, like kind of like the professional team owner contacts. So I actually personally called the owner, and I think it was a Tuesday, and then the guy was like, you know what, just come to the track in Sentul in Indonesia, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours from my home. And yeah, just come to the track on Saturday and see how it goes. Just try, just test. I guess the first session I felt like a boss. I was like, yeah, like, I feel so fast, you know, come on, I can just go straight to the race. And apparently I was 15 seconds off. So that was one thing. So it was a big learning curve for me from rental carts to real carts, because obviously you have like 5 times more extra power and way more grip, and the track is way bigger. And I remember on my car I had to put like an L. You know how in like here you put an L if you're trying to learn how to drive? Yeah, I pretty much had that on my car as well. And I remember the first session, I think I punted someone off who was having their first session as well. And yeah, that shows my determination. But honestly, my first session was pretty crazy because I did not expect that physique. I did not expect that tiredness in a way. Yeah, my physique wasn't there. There you go. But yeah, after like the first session, I properly died. Like, I couldn't move my arms anymore, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And during that day as well, I remember I crashed a few times. I had to change cars and all. And yeah, again, I thought I was like the boss in a way. And pretty much since then, I was just testing every weekend, you know, getting faster and faster. And then I think it was just my 4th session or something like that. I was already about 2 seconds off. Yeah, about 2 seconds off. And there was like these kind of master drivers, like old people, like gentleman drivers, who were offering me, you know what, do you want to try to have like a race with us, you know, gain your experience and all? So I was like, why not? And then during the race, I remember it was the second last course. The thing is, it was only my 4th or 5th session like that, and my driving was still shit, even though I was quite fast. But I didn't really understand how to do racecraft and, you know, how to properly overtake and all. And I remember I think I was like 3rd or 4th or something like that out of like 12 people. And there was one corner in Sentul where it doesn't really work these days, but back then you have to climb the curb in order to get the perfect line. And I have never taken the curb before, but I think that's how I was 2 seconds off, because I didn't take the curb. So yeah, I kind of like went around the curb, but my tires were shit because that was like the 4th week in a row using that tire, so it was completely finished. So I went offline, and on the exit, I just completely spun out of control, went to the tire barriers, went out of my car in the middle of the track, and I just ran. Like, I was like, holy shit. My racing suit was absolutely destroyed, my helmet was destroyed, and that was a pretty cool experience, honestly. But I was never really scared of crashing, even until now. I'm never really scared of injuring myself. Don't know why. I don't know. I think it's just me. But yeah, and that was a pretty cool experience. I think I was like 1 week out of like testing because I pulled my hamstring and that was a pain. That was really really bad. That was, oof. I mean, I could have broken my arm or anything, but yeah, 1 week of no testing afterwards. But then again, just gain more experience and especially in the wet because I couldn't drive in the wet because I've never had any wet experience. And I remember the first corner in the wet, the first lap, spun out of control. But then that's how you push, you know the limits. And I think 2 or 3 weeks after that, my mom found James Russell, my team boss, that guy. And he was actually in Indonesia to do some testings as well. So oddly enough, I think me and my dad kind of like wanted to meet him that weekend, but then we couldn't find him. But oddly enough, I was in the loo and my dad was in the loo as well. And then James was there. And then I was like, yo, you're James, right? And it was like, yeah, I'm supposed to meet you now. And then we were like, we had like a chat afterwards and like with my experience with racing. And the reason why we called out for James is because I was kind of asking James to coach me because I think I needed proper guidance. Like the team boss of my first team probably isn't the best person to coach me, and James is like, the Malaysian champion, rally driver and all, and like we thought that he would be a perfect fit for me, and obviously I had no language barrier with him, so that's pretty good. So yeah, afterwards kind of just talked about like the program that James was offering, and he was like, yeah, just come to Malaysia, we're gonna test in Sepang and we're gonna test in Elite. And I think a few weeks later I went to Malaysia to do my first testing with James, and holy shit, I went from like my pole position time in 2017, I did a 49.8, and that was like on a perfect track. The first session I came out, I think I did like a 1 minute 10 or something. By the end of the day, I did a 51.8. So I shaved off like 19 seconds or some shit, which is fucking amazing. And I couldn't believe myself as well. I guess it's just natural. But like the first like sessions with James was amazing because he taught me how to brake pretty well, and taught me how to, there was another guy, so he taught me how to overtake and just really like simple basic things that I couldn't really understand, and he taught me that. And I remember I was using a CRG. That was, I still remember it in my head. And it was a really 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 hot day in Sepang. So obviously I got knackered after one day. My physique wasn't great as well. And what else? Yeah, it was really good. Like I think James taught me a lot of stuff for sure. Like how, he's probably one of the reasons why I'm here right now, and how I became champion in 2017. And for sure, if you guys want to check his team out, STRATOS Motorsports, probably the best team in Asia, wrapping up. And yeah, be sure to check them out in the description below. And the next day, after we went for Sepang, we went to Elite, which is a pretty bumpy track, and I was done for half of the day. Like I was knackered. Like I remember one of my mechanics boy, he was just laughing at me because my face was red. I couldn't even talk. Oh my days, that was pretty funny. Because Elite is generally quite tough because of the bumps and also the G-forces. You go downhill and you go like, it's like a banked corner. So it's quite tough. And I spun off on my own because I was tired. I remember that. I had to replace the side bumper. That was pretty amazing. But yeah, that's how I started racing, guys. That's like that's what I did for the first year of practice karts in a way, in like the real karts. I guess the lesson what I could take from here is that she should always be determined on what you want to achieve, because after that first crash I could have just fuck it, I'm out. Or after that time in elite where I was completely dead, I could have just said like, yeah, no. But like, if you really like it, then you're going to be determined to push harder and work hard for it. But I guess that's about it for this first episode. What is it like? How many minutes is this? Like around 60 minutes? Okay, I don't really care. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy it, and be sure to check out James and STRATOS Motorsports. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Adios.